Welcome to Journey to the Moon. Today is June 22nd, 2017. In this video, I'm going to talk about Ethereum's issues, SegWit2x, and what does that mean for Bitcoin, and all the current bullish media hype I see surrounding Bitcoin, saying that it'll pump to 5,000 or more. So as we all know, yesterday there was a flash crash with Ethereum, something about going from $300 to 10 cents or $13. As you can see here, here's a chart that shows that dump, the flash crash. And you know, there's some people had something to say. If it was a regulated market, there'd be investigations on the way. A trade's a trade. Large sell fills the bids, triggers the S&L orders, and then some. You know, fat fingers or market manipulation. So that was, you know, some people made out like a bandit getting their bags filled for $13, $20, while others lost a lot of money. So when you lose a lot of money in a crypto, you usually sort off that crypto and never hold that coin again. So I know that left a bad taste in people's mouth. So that was the first of Ethereum's news yesterday, or problems, as well as the Status ICO, which Status itself has a little bit of complaints, saying that they told people to use 50 gas, but a lot of people use more than 50 gas, not following the rules. So because of that, some people got ahead, while others following the rules didn't and get to invest in the ICO like they wanted to, among other issues. But obviously Status ICO and other anticipated ICOs have been clogging up the Ethereum blockchain, and no one likes to not have their transactions filled out and be dealing with a clogged blockchain, right? So continuing with the clog and the clutter that Ethereum is experiencing, GDAX had to temporarily make deposits and withdrawals unavailable. So for the people that had Ethereum on GDAX, they couldn't move their Ethereum. And what's the point of having Ethereum when you can't use it when you need it or when you want to? So all these are just scaling issues that Ethereum is starting to go through, which is interesting as we look at today's market cap. There's a 14 billion difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum, but just 4 days ago, June 18th, the gap was only a $7 billion difference. So now that Ethereum was on pace to go after Bitcoin and take that #1 spot, it's filling the scaling issues, the clutter, the clogs, the ICOs. People are kind of getting tired of the ICOs. I mean, has there really been an ICO that's highly anticipated that's really gone smoothly? Yeah, you know, some of the smaller ICOs have been okay, but the big ICOs have always been clogging up the Ethereum blockchain and causing problems. So we'll see how Ethereum handles these scaling issues in the future. But on top of that, looking at today's chart, SegWit2x is the answer to the scaling issues that Bitcoin has been looking for. So what is SegWit2x? If you've been following crypto I'm sure you've heard of the user activated software fork and August 1st. So the August 1st, BIP 148 was supposed to implement SegWit, but they seem to have come to an agreement, Barry Silbert and the miners, or the New York agreement, to use SegWit2x and implement SegWit before August 1st. But it is also on the condition that they're going to increase the block size to 2 megabytes. So here we have a Jimmy Song article on Medium. What do you need to know? Here's the agreement. Instead of BIP 148, they're going to use BIP 91. Right, BIP 91. right? As long as, you know, they're agreeing 80% consensus to use that. But once SegWit is activated, it's also on the condition that within 6 months, they're going to increase the block size. So that's where the problem down the road will be issued. As he mentions in this article here, per the New York agreement, a 2 megabyte hard fork will be activated within 6 months. What software will activate the block size hard fork? Will it be Bitcoin Core? Unlikely, since they didn't sign the agreement. So blah blah blah. Well, none of these questions have been answered. So initially, in the short run, everybody's happy that SegWit is going to be activated, right? From you know, Tone Vase to Adam Meister, Bitcoin Meister. But even in this video, Tone is saying, hey, look, I'm happy. We want SegWit, right? Lower transaction times, lower transaction fees. But the whole 2 megabyte increase in the block size, he's not for that. Even though that's what they signed for, and that's the deal. We'll see how that will play out in the coming months. But because SegWit is going to get activated and is going to solve the scaling issue, you know, I see all these articles coming out now. This June 20th, you know, Max Kaiser saying Bitcoin is going to 5,000, and the Snapchat investor, you know, German Lou saying the Bitcoin rally is just getting started. Even this high school kid who made $1 million is a millionaire now, and he's saying that Bitcoin is going to $1 million. But the point of the article is kind of like, hey, if a high school kid can do it, you can do it too, right? It's a CNBC article. See, another hype piece. Bitcoin will make lots more millionaires, right? But here's the original article. It will make more millionaires and reach new highs before coming back down to earth. So he's saying it's gonna go up, but it's also gonna crash. But he's still hyping that it's gonna make more millionaires before it does crash. And then here we have another article, June 22nd, putting the Bitcoin cryptocurrency bubble into perspective. So here we have Bitcoin at 41 billion, and then we have Amazon, Apple, the stocks, which does make an interesting argument where, okay, crypto's in a bubble, but so are the stocks and the housing market, and everything else is in a bubble. And the dollar collapse, conspiracy theorists and all that. It's like, I mean, what's the point? Everything's a bubble. Where else are you going to put your money? Even if, especially if you don't trust your national currency or your government. Now we have India accepting Bitcoin, saying it's okay. So what I'm getting at is I'm just running through different articles, but all these different articles, you know, from Forbes to CNBC, Cointelegraph, it's all just like, they're all like bullish. Everybody's bullish on Bitcoin. And the question I ask is, if once Bitcoin, everybody's saying Bitcoin's going to get SegWit, right? Once Bitcoin gets SegWit, it's going to lower the transaction fees, it's going to lower the transaction time, as well as it should. Bitcoin should be getting rootstock or RSK in the future. If it does get RSK rootstock, which would be smart contracts for Bitcoin, what's going to stop Bitcoin? But again, the biggest issue Bitcoin had was the scaling issue. That's what's been holding Bitcoin back, you know, for the longest time now. And now that that's about to get answered or addressed, what does that mean for Bitcoin? As we look at the chart here, and if and when it does use RSK, which will enable smart contracts on Bitcoin, you know, it's almost, there's no limit for Bitcoin, as Ethereum biggest use case or claim to fame is the smart contracts. But if Bitcoin gets that and it solves the scaling issue, faster transaction times, lower fees, and gets RSK, you know, it's almost like sky's the limit. I mean, there is no, it's going to the moon. You know, 5,000 is the target, and Tone does mention that in the video, as long as in the short term. But the whole increasing the block size, the 2 megabyte debate is going to be another debate on itself. But in the next month or two, that shouldn't be the issue until then. So Ethereum's not helping itself with its own issues, and Bitcoin is moving forward, which also makes an interesting case for Litecoin, where they're saying that Litecoin has SegWit, but once Bitcoin gets SegWit, there's really not going to be any use. Litecoin's going to have to find another use case besides SegWit, since Bitcoin is not going to have it. So the general consensus is, if you're holding Litecoin, to just sell it and buy it when it dips. You know, you take your profit on Litecoin, as people will probably not use it as a hedge now that Bitcoin has solved its scaling issue for the most part. SegWit2x support, SegWit2x support, 91%. So everybody's bullish on Bitcoin. All the media's pumping Bitcoin. You know, the casual investor is going to see all these articles pumping Bitcoin. I mean, what's really holding back and stopping Bitcoin now? Also, on top of the fact that Ethereum is having its growing pains. So just look at the dominance. It's back at 40%. And once Bitcoin hits new all-time highs, which would be like 3,000, you know, 3,018, 19, 20 will be the new high for Bitcoin. You know, what's going to stop people from selling their alts and just riding the Bitcoin wave as the BTC dominance goes up? Well, with that, like, comment, subscribe, buy, sell, or hold. Let me know what you're going to do. And I'm going to hold on to my Bitcoin. Until then, I'll see you in the moon.